there, this is Ansu and I'm from Ivytree Studio in South Africa, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you a single layout that I just created using some very easy, very fun and playful art experiments that I turned into tags and then used those in my scrapbook layout. So I just want to challenge you to think out of the box and don't feel like you have to have a fancy machine or you have to have fancy products to create colorful artistic layouts with. For me it flows naturally and it comes easily to just keep it simple. So I want to challenge you this year to get back to the basics, use your pair of scissors, use paper, use your art products that you already own in your stash, collect over time the things that you desire to have in your art product vault, and always try to remember that what you already own is good enough for you to start and be creative with. So I wish you a very happy and very creative 2020. Join me not just here on my channel but also at my studio. I've decided to do some classes at my home, and I'm inviting you to book online and come and visit me and have a cup of tea and let's just have some fun together. I just want to share some creative play with you today. I'm working on a scrapbook project, a single layout, and I wanted to incorporate a couple of things, and I'm playing and testing product out. Some of which is the Gelatos from Faber-Castell, which I've owned for a while now. And I also played around with my color box, pigment ink, and my embossing powders. So I haven't used these in a while, so I've taken them out and I have played around with some ideas for art journaling and creating textures and backgrounds and tags and things. So these are the tags that you might have seen some of the textures shared on my Instagram channel, Creative Girl Lady B. That's my tag on Instagram. And I was just playing around with products, seeing which products, unconventional products, I can use for embossing. Right, so you might wonder if Gelatos will be able to be used in embossing, and I can just give you great news today. Yes, they can. It may not give you the same texture as you used to in embossing, but it's like a kissing technique on top of the Gelatos. And the best news of all is that when you dry it with your heat tool, and I just tested it, so this sample is still a little bit, the paper is still a little bit wet, because what I did was I used my blending brushes to add the image on with a stencil and a masking technique. And what I did after, I actually did it in steps. So I did the pink first, actually the green first, and then I embossed. I add the embossing powder, the green powder, to it, and I added the heat to it, melted it in, and it's just kissing the gelato at certain areas where the powder was actually, I would say, picked up on, or the gelato picked up on the powder. It depends on, if you do it really lightly, you won't get a lot of powder. If you do it too thick, you'll get a blotchy bit. So it's kind of a kissing technique. So you have to kiss the gelato with the powder. In the end, I would say the major important thing that I found was that if you put too much gelato in it, it's just not a great look. I can show you here. You'll see if your stencil is too thick, the gelato will go underneath the stencil and cause a little rift there, which, if that's the technique in art journaling that you want, that's great. But if you don't want that, I would go lighter. So this was a testing experiment, and I decided to make tags with it. I loved all the layers so much, but I would say that this was more successful here. I don't know if you can see that. And because I didn't use as much of the gelato here, and this was, I think this was the third effort, the second one, and I just want to show you the first. Underneath here you'll be able to see the first, and I wasn't too happy with that. And I also think it had to do with the color gelato that I used. It was kind of a skin tone color because I wanted to use the gold on top, and I just didn't like the effect there. So too much gelato, less gelato, and then just kissing it there, making sure you get enough, but not too soft a blend. And I actually put this on with my finger, not with my blending brushes. I think your blend will just be a little bit too little. But here I did use the blending brushes, and because I wanted, it depends on your need and what you want in the end as a result. So I just wanted it to be a kissed effect there with the embossing powder, just to raise the color of the green there. And here with the pink the same. I didn't have a purple embossing powder, so I just used the blue that I have. And I quite like this. I didn't place the stencil back perfectly, so it's kind of a moved image there, so it looks blurry. You can just tape down your cardstock, but you have to lift it up if you want to do the embossing in layers. So you might have a shift there. If you place it down perfectly and you make sure that your image is absolutely aligned with the previous versions there, then you won't have a problem. So it's just playing around. I don't want to be too precise. I want to experiment, and I want to see what I can get in the end. All right, so I've made some tags, and I'm just going to show you. I have lots of product left over, and I started just seeing how far I can get with that product. So the ones with the green is the gelato. These ones were with my color box. Right, so you can compare the colors there. I think the green makes it pop a little bit more. I used turquoise green here, so it's kind of a nice blend, but it doesn't give me that pop that I want. My tags does have that kind of yellow color. This is margarita mix, sorry, there it is, margarita mix. So that's a very popping green you have there. I like that color a lot. So I had the green embossing powder. It's not quite the same, so it dulls it down a little bit, but it's fine for my purposes. So I added little pops of blue here, also a little bit of the black, but that's okay. We're not going to bring that out too much in the layout anyway. Right, so my brushes have been lying a bit now for me to set up the video. And so I'm going to see how far I can go with the product on the brush. So I start blending from the outside in and just into the corner that I want to go, and I want to actually see if I can get as dark a blend as possible with the product that's on there. So you can see I've done a couple of cards. I would say this is the fourth try with the product that I have on, and that's the thing with the gelatos and the blending brushes. They go a long way, girls. You can get a nice bright blend without too much product. So you put down the product once, and then you can go and do a couple of cards. So I'm gonna show you what I have in the end, and there we go. So the masking technique, I want a couple of big circles there that I'm going to try and pop off the page and double up. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 already, and a fifth one that I used as a test for the embossing. I'm not going to emboss these now on camera, but I just wanted to share with you that I've been playing around with the gelatos and just embossing with it. So perhaps in the next video I'll show you exactly how I do that. So try that out with your embossing powders. Another wonderful way to emboss and give your page a little bit of a texture. So please tag my video and give me a shout out when you share this technique, and say where you saw it first, so Gelatos, embossing, yes, absolutely. Right. And then what I want to do next, I'm just going to set up again. I showed you the masking technique now. I'm going to assemble my layout and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back again, and I was prepping the page so that you don't have to see me fussy cut and get everything ready. And what I found that the collection that I wanted to focus on and use was the Finesse collection that we brought out about 2 years ago. I have a paper strip from the Finesse collection. I just want to move this up so you can see. And I love the sentiment that we, this is from a chipboard kit that we brought out with the Finesse collection. Remember your moments of strength. And this is my mom and me and my sister, and we've been going through some health challenges and family situations, challenges, and so on. And then I found this sentiment, let your faith be bigger than your fear, because when you go through tough times, fear can normally creep in, and you need to fight that with your faith. And so it's a moment that I want to remember, a special moment with my mom. She's 80 years old and a very special lady. So this collection, this Vibrant collection is just really vibrant, and I think that represents all the colors that I've used in this very florally layout. The stencil that I used was from the Finesse collection, is still a firm favorite. I'm going to definitely try and design more stencils this year, and perhaps a couple of stamps. But I really loved this layout, creating it. And so this is a card, a pocket card, Project Life card that I just distressed a little bit, and another one that I cut up with the element here with little washi and a label. Just trimmed that off from the pocket card, and used the yellow strip at the back just to bring out all the yellows that the green is definitely playing on in the background with the stencils, all the stenciling elements. Right, so a lot of techniques in this one layout. All I'm going to do is I'm going to put this together with glue, and that's it. So, but perhaps I'll tape it anyway and speed it up for you so you can see how I'm going to layer it and fuss with it. I'm probably going to add little bits of journaling text, sweet sentiments here and there. I'm planning on putting that on the circles. So let's see what I end up with. I'll put some final images on my Instagram, some close-ups for you to watch. Okay, now that it's done, I just want to quickly walk through what I've done. So the process for this is to create your background elements first. All right, you're going to use your stencils with the masking technique, any shape that you like. I like the circles. And then create an ombre kind of colorful 3-color element, cut it out. Some of it goes on foam to give it that dimension and create some interest. When I stuck them down, I used my gel pen, my gold gel pen. I've used it so much I realized that it's actually finished. I need a new one. It's up to there already, so I need a new one. I love the gold. It's versatile, it goes with everything. And I used my little stencil, circle stencil that you can buy at any stationery shop, to create extra stencils on it. I wanted to do the masking technique on the background with smaller circles, and I thought, no, it's going to be very busy, as you can see. Kind of my style, it seems. I'm very detailed. So I'm just going to add the gold elements as circles on top of those circles. And I lined all my circles with a little bit of distressing on top of it, just adding the gold to give it a little bit of shimmer. Right, I think all girls like the bling, like the sparkle, so I added the word sparkle. Right, the whole theme of this is to remember your moments of strength. So my theme for the year, I think, is to be strong, to stand strong on God's grace. I think it's very ironic that that's my word, but I feel like God is pushing me to be strong despite the fact that I broke my ankle in November last year. And so I've been doing this video kind of sitting in my wheelchair and then popping up ever so often to see if everything is straight. So not able to stand on the leg yet, but in my spirit I can. So for me and for my family, this is kind of the theme, to encourage us to stay strong, stand strong, delight in the happy moment, delight in this happy moment. So I remember this moment, the word moments also, so I played on that. Bright eyes, all the little eyes there, playful and strong, graceful. Grace is my word because that's what my name means. What I also did was I created the tags just by playing around with as much of my Gelatos and Pit Artist pens as I could. So if you haven't discovered these, you can let me know and I will source it for you. I'm going to stock it soon, but I can purchase it for you on your behalf already, so you can let me know in the comments below or pop me an email. And also the Pit Artist pens as well. So I bought this white number B brush pen for me yesterday, and I already owned this one. It's the Big Mama, and I'm playing around with the white, but I have other colors as well, and I can just recommend the Pit Artist pens. I've used them for probably a decade in my art, and they last long. The first ones that I bought is still good, so because it's India ink, it's ink, so it's wonderful. I can really recommend it. They are a bit pricey, but they do go very far, as you just heard. Right, then so layering the elements. So I just used white cardstock creating these tags, used my stamps, used a little bit of embossing, played around, tested things out. So what I want to share about that is that element can become something in your scrapbooking or in your journaling. Don't throw it out. So keep your experiments, just keep on layering. I layered over 2 days and I just kept on testing my product and playing with it, and in the end I decided to create these tags. I had a little bit of these ribbons and string, and so I added that, and I decided to incorporate the Vibrance collection, one of my favorite collections from last year. It's a print and play collection, and so you can print and play to your heart's content. There's loads of elements. It's the biggest one of the year of 2019, I think. So it's a very large collection. Wonderful flower elements in lined black and white, so you can color them, use them in your Bible journaling, etc. Layering of flowers. You always want these wonderful little flower elements in your projects. You can use them in really any project you like. Right, so layering is the thing for me. I love the layering process. It's a challenge to know how it's going to end up. Every time it's different. I love that. And so I added a camera element, and I added these words from the Vibrance collection. In the end, just stripped it up, gave it a little bit of artistic flair, and just lined it with my black Pit Artist pen, the small, so it's the fine point. And that's also a handy pen for any artist to have, to just line anything you want. So I didn't want to do a proper brush lettering here. I just wanted it kind of in the background, the word be strong. So I just played with roughly with an artistic curly font there. It's my own handwriting, and I love adding those personal touches. Please do that. Don't always go to a silhouette to cut those precise elements. As you can see today, I have a finished layout, and I didn't use a machine. I used my hands, and I used my scissors. So all these little elements are also cut by hand, because the lines that we give you are not as tightly into the details, so it cuts really quickly. I can recommend that. Right. And then I think that's about it. Finally, I just added some Nouveau drops, so you all probably have heard of it. I love liner bottles since forever. I used to do fabric painting and tablecloths and things with Chrissy Tex paint. I don't know if any of you girls remember Chrissy Tex. I'm not sure if they still exist, but I love their products. I know you can get the fabric paint and stuff at art stores still, but I haven't done that in a while. But what I did always love was the lining final stage element that you add, and that's why I love the Nouveau drops, and I love anything that comes in a liner bottle. My Anita's 3D clear glass is nearly done. I'm going on to another new tube soon, and I love adding that little glass element to the shoes and the lips and the dress. Perhaps I did it here, and I added it to my camera. It just gives it that 3D real life look. I used a glitter foam as a mat for my photo. Don't need always to use cardstock. I didn't even back it on cardstock. I'm not too bothered. I like the softness that it brings to my layout. Right, so I just end up with little dots here and there. So the rules of 3 basically, but I love adding extra, so love the detail. And I added even more gold elements on top of my circles. It just finishes it off for me. You can go crazy and add glossy accents to those gelato stenciled circles if you want to. So let's count. There's the glossy accents, there's the Nouveau drops, there's the glitter foam, there's chipboard elements, there's ribbon and string, paper used, foam squares to double things up, embossing techniques and stamping and stenciling. So you can add all the elements that you've learned to use, you can use in it. Some of the elements in here is also just the watercolor effect that I use my Pit Artist pens and my Koi brush pens, which I love as well. They create wonderful watercolor effects, sometimes even better than the Pit Artist pens. I feel like the colors are more vibrant, so can recommend that as well. So just playing around with your techniques and testing everything out. It's a mishmash of everything. It's an artistic expression. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I loved every minute of it. So there's my final result. I'll put up pictures on social media for you to check out. Perhaps I'll do a blog post. But I hope that you enjoyed watching this. Check out my new website. I'll link it below. It's for all my physical classes and products that I'll be sourcing for the girls who attend my classes, and it's called artfulwaysstudio.weebly.com. I'm not going to register a domain for it at present, so I'm going for the free website because it's just giving you a reference for where you can book for my classes online. And it's still where you book and you click on my website, it takes you to the Ivytree Studio store anyway. So I'm not going to open up a new store just for you to book classes, but I'm giving you a place where you can easily find it, because Ivytree Studio has lots of projects and things, and I don't want you to get lost. So this is art by Ansu's venture. It is part of Ivytree Studio. It's a branch of Ivytree Studio. It makes sense to me to do my own thing as well under that umbrella. Sarita does the same. She's currently busy with a portrait study of my parents, and she's been doing commissions for portraits for many years, and she's trying to get back to doing that as well. And probably you'll see her do videos and things. I'm encouraging her to get into that. So her art is just amazing. So playing around with some impressionistic art. And if you're interested in some of my physical classes, I'll do online classes as well throughout the year perhaps. But if you want to do the physical classes, I've been so focused on the physical classes. If you want to come and play with me and do art journaling, mixed media art, scrapbooking, journaling, creative journaling in general, I've got a specific way of doing it. I've got lots of ideas. Prayer journaling, Bible journaling. I've got a regular class, Bible journaling or faith art and Bible study class once a month at the last Saturday of the month, the afternoon, just for 2 hours. I've got an art journaling class the last Saturday of every month for the normal class session, 3-hour session. And then I'll be doing a free scrap and chat on the first Saturday of every month. That Friday evening would be probably the last Friday of every month. So it will be and this month it turns out to be the last Friday. So every last Friday of the month I'll do a live play date in my club, in the Creative Girl Club. So you can check that out and join the club for free. You can join the club as a paid member as well, but I'm thinking of changing that a little bit. So go join the club for free and see what you can learn there. You can, if you're not in Pretoria and you can't join my physical classes, you can check out the stuff that we're doing in the Creative Girl Club. If you're anywhere else in South Africa or in the world, you can come and play with us and get to know us and have some fun with us with paper and with art. And so I hope that you try out this layout and just play around with it. I love the tags. I know everybody does the tags. I haven't done that really in a while, so I wanted to try that out. And I never know what I'm going to end up with, because I go with what I'm feeling like that day. And today I was feeling like doing some stenciling. I was in an arty mood, trying stuff out, playing with product. And I hope that you enjoyed that little layout, and maybe there's a couple of ideas that you can incorporate in future. My cat is saying goodbye behind me. Hello, Chloe. Hello, Ma. Cutie pie. She's also joining me. So I hope that you are going to check out my classes, check out the next video. Don't know what that's going to be about. Perhaps a card, perhaps some brushing techniques again. These are really fun. I can really recommend them. So just rewind the video and check out from the beginning all the tips that I give throughout. If I can think about something, I'll mention it. And all the links will be down below for everything else that you need, or just pop me a comment and ask me a question. So for today, signing off. Love you, bye.